Hi, my name is Ben McGowan. I'd like to discuss, this is kind of be a mixed conversation because I want to talk about several events that happened that the Obama administration has either endorsed, knew about, or actually encouraged. And one of them is the invasion of a neighborhood by a union that Obama has close ties to the president of, and where they took 14 buses of their employees into a private neighborhood with over 500 people, ended up on a civilian person's lawn with bull horns, making noise, waving banners and all this other stuff. And inside the house was a young teenage boy. The father wasn't even there. They were protesting Wall Street operations and losing their homes and all this other stuff. They stayed there and they were escorted into that neighborhood by the D.C. Metro Police, who did not have permission to cross the line into Maryland, but they did anyway. And of course, the police department say now it's a common practice. But then the Maryland police that showed up, the sheriff's department showed up, said that, yeah, they saw it, they got calls for a disturbance, but they didn't want to interrupt it because they thought that might incite a riot. Meanwhile, the young man is in the house, he's scared, the neighborhood is tore upside down. Not one media outlet. The only person that reported on this was the person that living next door who happened to be a reporter. And she wasn't, she didn't report on crimes, she reported on other things, miscellaneous things. But she gave a detailed explanation of what happened. And when the man heard about this, he was at a Little League game with his other son. He parked his car around the corner and then he walked to his house, had to walk through this crowd and had to ask them to get out of his way and go in and get the other teenager and take him out. Now this is terrorism. This is domestic terrorism. And if it had been in a state that required, that acknowledged the fact that a person has a right to stand their grounds, there would probably be 50 or 60 people out there in that crowd would be dead today. And I wouldn't feel sorry for one of them. If that happened to their homes, they would have been totally upset. So why do you attack a civilian, an independent, an individual? You're not attacking a corporation, you're attacking an individual. Then they got back on the buses and the same police departments escorted them to another house down the road with another individual, and then they protested in his yard, in his driveway. Now, I'm sorry folks, but this is conduct that needs to be punished, and it wasn't. And the president of this union just could go into the White House anytime he wanted to. He could meet with the president anytime he wanted to. The president put him on, appointed him to committees, and things like this. This is domestic terrorism. This wasn't a protest. They weren't there to protest. They would have been in a business they were going to do that. The other thing that happened that the government allowed to happen, particularly Obama, is that when you have an outpost like in Afghanistan that's not even supposed to be there, it's supposed to be disbanded, but you don't have enough vehicles and troops to close it down. But then it's attacked, and 9 U.S. soldiers are killed. The security forces, the Afghan security forces that were there to guard them, along with the Afghan military, they dropped their weapons or they ran with their weapons and hid. So the Americans died, some of the Americans died, and the Afghans went to the barracks, is where the GIs lived, and they stole the cameras and other personal items. This was discovered as they were getting on choppers and unloading at other locations once they were evacuated. No charges were brought as far as I know, nothing was done to them, but Americans died. So basically he's a commander-in-chief. He's also supposed to be a morale builder, and this damn sure didn't build anybody's morale. The other thing that Obama does on a regular basis is that he brags about operations that are truly sensitive, not only in Afghanistan and others, but by just announcing the fact that we have a space shuttle, unmanned space shuttle, that traveled for 17 months over different areas, taking, mapping out other countries, maybe even our own, we don't know. But why would he announce that if he had any background in security and military or any respect for the people who work for them? You just would not do that. But he doesn't respect the military. He doesn't respect members of the military. Oh, he gives the speeches, all right. He's great about that. That's the reason I voted for him. But it wasn't 2 days later that he started showing his true color. And his true colors is that he is basically a coward. He is a Muslim, Islamic lover, and just downright despicable. And he doesn't care. He doesn't even like black Americans, people. African Americans in this country, he has a lot of distrust of them because he thinks they're a bunch of sissies. He didn't come from America. He came from another country, another environment. So take it for what it is. But when you have people making decisions that will kill us, whether it be in a neighborhood in the United States of America or on the battlefield, this is not a type of a person you want in office.